So I am back, and trust me, I am just as surprised as probably you are. Over the past couple of weeks, I had seriously contemplated just walking away from the whole damn thing. I'd really been considering retirement the past couple of years. If you're a long-term follower of this video report, I had mentioned about 4 years ago that I had a 5-year plan. Well, the clock is ticking. And listen, I'm financially set, and I don't mean to say that in a bragging type of way, but I haven't had to work really for 3 or 4 years. But I continue to do this because for the most part, I enjoy what I do. I love handicapping games. I love gambling. I mean, that's the reality of it all. My wife loves video poker. I love gambling. That's it. We're probably meant for each other for that reason. I love trying to beat the odds every single day. It's the rest of the job that I really don't care about. The politics, the morons that I have to work with. That just drives me nuts, one in particular. So, I thought about walking away from it here the past couple of weeks, but hey, it's baseball season. It's the easiest time to make money. It's my favorite sport of them all. It's a sport that I can literally roll out of bed and handicap an entire baseball card in less than 15 minutes. And at the end of the baseball season, I will turn a profit just like I have for 13 of the last 17 years. It's that easy. And today starts the NBA playoffs. Another great money-making opportunity. And this is what's the greatest thing about the NBA playoffs. Forget about what you see, the type of action in the NBA regular season. You're not going to see that frantic, up and down, run the floor type of pace and tempo that you're accustomed to seeing over the past 6 months. Because now the games count, right? To steal a line from Bud Selig from baseball. Now the games count. Now teams actually play a little defense. Now you're going to see more half-court offensive sets. Totally different game. But what makes the NBA playoffs such an easier sport to bet than the regular season is you have patterns that develop, you have repetition, you have consistency. Because now you have trends that develop because you have 7-game series. And it's even better than the old days when you used to have the first round was the best of 5. Because now, first round, best of 7 as you know. So now you have series that you have trends that develop. And listen, repetition and consistency. It's what makes baseball such a great bettable sport and an easy sport to make money because teams are going to play series of 3 to 4 games against each other. Starters are going to go every 4 to 5 days. That starters generally, most guys are going to go 5 to 7 innings before managers are going to turn it over to the bullpens, right? That's what you get in the NBA playoffs, and that's what makes this time of the NBA season so unique and what makes it so easy to make money. So, with that in mind, I've got a couple of free selections here for you. I've won 5 straight complimentary plays this week. As you know, when you don't find the video report, you can always find the complimentary play on my homepage. Last night it was a winner on the Red Sox from the run line. So I've also got a baseball complimentary play for you coming up here on the video report. In terms of who's got the big play today, it would be Chris Jordan. You remember the incredible run he had at the end of March Madness. Let's see if he can continue his prosperity here with his double your wager 2,000 star NBA winner number 27 out of 39 on Miami and Philadelphia, a game I'm going to talk about here in just a moment. He's on a 33-15 run with top-rated 1,000 star NBA releases. This play is twice as strong. He's going for winning day number 19 out of 29. The past 28 days, $1 bettors have made a little over $17,000. Nice short-term run, but how about this? Over the past 504 days, those same $1 bettors have made $73,000. And with top-rated 1,000 star plays or higher, since 2006, those same bettors have made a little over $177,000. You get it for over half price off by using coupon code CHRIS. Listen, I can tell you about all the other discounts and all the other coupons, but why bother? That is the best one, the hottest handicapper of them all. you can get all the other discounts and coupon codes over on the home page. So with that being said, let's talk about some of the complimentary plays here. Let's start with the game between Miami and Philadelphia. So you know the Philadelphia 76ers finished the regular season with a 16-game franchise best ever 16-game winning streak. 8 of those 16 wins accomplished with Joel Embiid, their big man, watching from the sidelines. He, of course, is going to miss game number 1 of this series as well. I think I took the Sixers 4 times with Embiid sidelined. I've been riding them frequently at the end of the regular season. You know, and if you got any of those plays, I mentioned to you a number of times, with him out, they changed their style of play. Consequently, with him out, they went to the one thing they have is a lot of length. They don't have a dominant center to replace him, but they have a lot of components, Brett Brown does, to plug into the 5 hole. So they have a lot of size, they have a lot of length, they have a lot of passers that fill in there in the 5 hole. Consequently, they get a lot of spacing then in the center, which opens up the perimeter game more so. And they become even a more deadly 3-point shooting team. Now, Miami, of course, has some experience, more experience in the postseason than Philadelphia does, obviously. And these two teams played some close games in splitting the regular season series. But this Philadelphia team is playing with such confidence right now. They've won 23 of their last 24 games at home. Lone loss coming to Indiana about a month ago. And listen, it's a 6.5-point number. If I'm betting this game, and not as a 76ers fan, I'm betting Philadelphia. The only thing I will warn you about Philadelphia, they have had 2 tendencies this season. They fall behind by double digits and then come roaring back. They get a double-digit lead, and they blow it and fail to cover. Those 2 tendencies always have me leery when betting Philadelphia. But with the momentum they carry into the postseason, I think that this Miami team, which has been often offensively challenged here during the regular season, I think that they are going to walk into a hornet's nest here at the Wells Fargo Center, and I think Philadelphia will be able to cover the number here in this particular contest. Let's talk about the Toronto-Washington game here for a moment. You know what the Raptors do in game number 1 of any series. They lose. They haven't won a game 1 opener in 17 years. They're 1-11 straight up. 2015, remember? Washington, Toronto. 2 different teams. Washington, the more experienced team at that time. Back in 2015, Kyle Lowry was not at 100%. The Raptors didn't have much depth at that time. 4-0 sweep for the Wizards in that playoff encounter. Now, you have a Raptors team. Great regular season. A Raptors team that relied less in the regular season on DeRozan and Lowry. A Raptors team that Dwayne Casey found himself with a very productive bench. In fact, Toronto's bench this season, 4th highest productive unit in terms of bench points scored, right? And Toronto's defense, often overlooked, 5th best defensive team in the league. Can they get it done? Because if they flop in this postseason, it means nothing. The Wizards, number 8 seed, but does it mean anything? I don't know. John Wall has played only 4 games since missing the second half of the season, basically, because of the knee issue. They lost Jody Meeks, who is a decent outside shooter, because of the PED suspension. Another backup, Mike Scott, is questionable for today's game. Otto Porter Jr. has a calf issue. He's probably going to play even though he's questionable. I just think that this is a game. Toronto knows that everything is riding on them coming out in this game. If they lose this game, they are going to be earmarked as failures forever. This is like the Super Bowl for the Raptors. I like Toronto in this game. Do I like the Raptors as much as I like Philadelphia? No. But I do like the Raptors in this game. So I like Miami and Toronto Philadelphia and Toronto in the NBA. For your baseball complimentary play, and again, I'm 5-0 with the baseball freebies this week, I'm going to go with the Houston Astros on the run line. Now, the Astros cost me as top-rated 15-time best bet last night on the run line because they failed to beat Texas by more than one, only winning that game 3-2. However, the Astros are 4-1 this season against the Rangers. They are 6-1 at home this season. The Rangers have lost 5 straight games. They've only scored 8 runs in their last 5 games. Astros going with Charlie Morton, his 3rd home start this season. First 2 against Baltimore and San Diego. He's worked 6 innings in each of those starts, allowing a total of 7 hits, 1 run, 13 strikeouts. If you go back to the last season, Morton, regular season and playoffs combined, 6-0 with a 1.09 earned run average in his last 7 starts. Last year in the regular season at Minute Maid Park, and believe me, I bet Charlie Morton a hell of a lot last year at home. 10-3, 16 home starts with a 3.34 earned run average. Astros have already beaten Mike Minor once. This guy was once a very promising prospect for the Atlanta Braves, ran into all types of arm injuries, rehabbed. Rangers signed him on the cheap. First start this season at home in Arlington, came against the Astros, did not pitch well on April 1st. 4 2/3 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, walked 2. Pitched better in his second start, but with the Rangers not hitting, with Morton being so dominant at home, I'm going to go with Morton and the Astros laying the 1.5 runs, getting a price of -110 for your 3rd complimentary play. To be quite honest with you, of the 3 complimentary plays, I probably like the Astros more than any of them. And of the 2 NBA plays, again, I like Philadelphia a little more than Toronto. My best bet today, of course, is going to be on the early game between Golden State and San Antonio. That late game between Portland and New Orleans, that's going to be an interesting series because you had the Pelicans team that won 5 straight to close the regular season, but again, who did they beat? A Warriors team that had injuries and wasn't playing for anything. A San Antonio Spurs team that fell apart at the end of the season. Big deal. They beat the Grizzlies. They beat the Clippers. They beat nobody down the stretch. You had a Portland team that peaked early in March and at the end of the season faded out and just flamed out, other than finally beating the Utah Jazz in their regular season finale at home. But the Jazz were playing the second of back-to-back games, so they were a little exhausted coming into that contest. Can Portland stop Anthony Davis? No. Can the Pelicans stop the Trailblazers backcourt? I don't know. You know, the one thing, the factor that you have to also consider for New Orleans, Rajon Rondo in the postseason always seems to rise to the occasion. If he does so, and if history repeats itself, along with Jrue Holiday, suddenly with Davis, the Pelicans could really contend. Ultimately, it's going to come down to this. Can New Orleans steal 1 game in Portland? It makes the series price kind of interesting because, Portland's a -220 favorite in that series. You could always take New Orleans plus like $1.45, $1.50 in that series. The one thing in series prices, you have 7 games potentially to always bail out if need be. Interesting series. I think it's too close to tell because these teams are very evenly matched. And again, when you've got Anthony Davis, who is going to be unstoppable in that series, even in game number 1, 5.5 points. I don't know which way to go. This is one of those series that I think that you watch how number 1 plays out, and then if you're interested in betting, then you make your choices further on down in the subsequent games. So anyway, that's the breakdown for today. Talk to you again tomorrow. Wish you well. Good luck.